You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the April 20th meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Michigan City Park Board meeting for Wednesday, April 20th. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and I'll roll call. Mr. Lang?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
And Mrs. Spurman?
Here.
All right, present and accounted for. We have the minutes from our previous meeting that were prepared.
I didn't get this.
Come to think of it, we don't have them.
No.
Mr. Latchford, I did not see the minutes from the last meeting, and Ms. Williams was absent today, along with Ms. Eason. I wonder, are we allowed to?
We'll take care of it next time.
Yeah, excuse me. I talked to Shannon earlier and she said that she didn't get them typed up.
All right,
So,
very good.
yeah.
We'll take care of that next meeting. Project updates today, Mr. Shin.
There are no project updates.
Very good. In the old business or table business?
There is some table business. We have an MOU with Wolf Soccer and an MOU with Trail Creek.
All right. Which one do you want to tackle first?
Let's do this one. We got this 3 weeks ago.
That's the
Parking.
All right, let's do Trail Creek then.
Trail Creek it is. So, Trail Creek is an MOU that was reviewed by our attorney and changed by the attorney of Trail Creek. The change was an addition, and the addition is shown in the contract to ask for attendance to park with certain rules. I spoke with the president of the board, Mr. Latchford, and he seemed to think that the attendance should be notified, and I checked with the attorney at Trail Creek, and he was fine with adding the 3 words that the park will inform the attendance of the games on where to park.
Thank you, Ed. Administratively, I forgot to ask that we have the table business untabled, so we have a motion to take the memorandum of understanding off the table.
I would move we take the memorandum of understanding off the table.
So second it?
Mr. Freeze?
Yes.
Mrs. Sterling?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
And I'm also in favor, so thank you. Sorry about that interruption. Anything else, Mr. Shin, on the memorandum of understanding?
You will see in the memorandum that we did add park will inform language, and also it says that parking shall not be permitted in non-designated areas. So you will see that I have made up a list of rules and a map for each of the 2 baseball complexes, and all of the parents and coaches will be sent this as an attachment, so they will have no problems knowing where to park. And I also spoke with the police officer there, and they do designate the areas and monitor the parking during the games.
Thank you. Any questions for the superintendent? When you mention the rules, you're referring to on the back of the map, the 5 or 6 items listed?
Correct.
Thank you. There are no questions or comments? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with the Trail Creek for the baseball?
I so move that we accept the memorandum of understanding between Michigan City Parks and Recreation Department Board and the town of Trail Creek for Nelson County Park.
Second.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Mrs. Spurgeon?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, so it's unanimous. All right. Then the other table item, we'll need a motion to remove that from the table. And this is the one for the memorandum of understanding between the Michigan City Park Department and the Wolf Soccer Club.
I would move that we remove from the table this memorandum between Michigan City Park Department and Wolves Soccer Club.
You have a second? Mr. Freeze?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
Mrs. Spurling?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, so that's unanimous. So Mr. Shin?
Yes, this is an MOU that I would have liked to have had at the last meeting. Didn't get it to the meeting on time, but we have it now before us where it was reviewed by our attorney, Ms. Nurnberg, and the changes have been made, but she would like to approve this subject to her reviewing it one more time. And she mentioned that she could have that done before this weekend, hopefully.
Any questions or comments for the superintendent?
Does this need to be, for the soccer to get going, this needs to be accomplished?
Correct, they would like to play this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a nice weekend.
So, since I haven't seen any of these changes yet, I think we need to take some time tonight. Someone can walk us through what has been changed, if that's not too laborious, so that the board could get comfortable with the agreement.
I
And then
would be
we
glad
could
to do that.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay. You'll notice at the first page that's highlighted in yellow, that date was changed because, again, we wanted to get this done previously. Under section 1, I just highlighted that term because I wanted the dates to line up, just to make sure that it was flagged for everybody. So generally, yellow from me is just to flag things for people so that it sticks out. I'm fine with the changes in section 3. Those are just grammatical. The only thing, it looks like under section 4, yes, okay, so the superintendent has already changed that in response to my question. So that's good. WSC to provide park and weekly game and practice schedules 1 week in advance so that everybody's put on notice as to when they're going to use the fields. And then 6 was included, and the superintendent opted, correct, Mr. Shin, to strike that language that raised concern. 7, again, the last portion of that sentence is just simply highlighted, just to make certain that ultimate authority regarding maintenance staff was to remain with the park. On the next page, I didn't know that umpires was the right word, and that's been changed. Again, a lot of this is just, it's really not substantive necessarily. And then under the general liability, you'll notice that the insurance agent chimed in as well with regards to the question that was raised about the excessiveness of the liability. What has not been done yet in this draft, which is what I do want to correct no later than Thursday, is to change the 4 million to 1 million. That's why I felt compelled to go through this. But everything else looks to be in order. Yes, and we had this last year, right? It's very similar to.
No, this is their first year.
This is their first year? Okay. But we did take this template from someplace.
Did.
I believe we had an agreement with the Michigan City Soccer Club
Yeah.
years ago.
That's right. Okay. Yes, it's been a while. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Years.
Thank you for walking us through those
Of
changes.
course.
I'm just going to take a minute here. There's just a few items I just want to read. Are there any other questions or comments, please?
I thought it was fun. It's really expensive.
Yes.
Is this to use I know there's one main soccer field and then they kind of set up the smaller kids at the other fields, right?
Correct.
So it's for use of all of that.
It is.
Yeah. Mhm.
They have
That's
a
great. It's back.
big turnout.
Yeah. Mhm.
Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, so we would need to, if the board is going to make a motion, we would have to make a contingent upon the attorney's thorough review and acceptance of the agreement.
Mhm.
And if I may, I will not change anything that is without alerting everybody. Okay, the changes I walk through will be the only ones that I accept without notifying you accordingly.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
So I'm to understand we're going to make a motion to accept this MOU with the condition that our attorney agrees to all the language. Okay. Make a motion that we accept the memorandum of understanding between Michigan State Park Department and the Wolves Soccer Club to accept this memorandum of understanding in lieu of the fact that our attorney will finalize and notify us of any changes that might have to be made.
Second.
Mr. Freeze,
Yes.
Mrs. Spurling,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
and I'm affirmative as well, so that's unanimous approval. Thank you. Any other tabled business we need to address?
No other tabled business.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, we have a request to allow dogs on nature trails in Windy Creek Cove Park.
This is an item on the agenda that was asked by Ms. Eason to table until she can return.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? None. Do we have a motion to table?
Yeah, I would move that we table this request for considering Windy Creek Cove Park for dogs to walk along on the Singing Sands Trail until our next meeting, May 4th.
Second.
Mr. Freeze,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mrs. Spur,
Yes.
and I'm affirmative as well. All right. That item's tabled. The next item is the second annual Uptown Social 5K Run and Walk.
Yes, I was asked by the Uptown Social to bring this proposal to the board. They would like to, for their second annual walk run, to be similar to last year's walk run that was successful. They would like to start their race, as you can see on your maps and your proposal. They would like to start the race downtown, I think, on 9th Street, and then enter Washington Park and loop around and have most of their race within Washington Park. They are working along with the Humane Society, so it is an organization that wants to help in respects to donations with the Humane Society. And they are asking if they can run over the areas where there are tiger teeth, and our Mr. Bolts usually takes care of that and makes sure that the tiger teeth will be safe for the runners. And they're looking to do this on, what was the date in anybody's? July 28th. There you are. Jeremy, hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? Would you like to speak about your race at all?
Sure, you can come out.
Sure.
Please.
Come on down.
Price is right. That's right. Yeah, you gotta get a little jog in there. You got it.
Please state your name for the record, please.
Sure. My name is Jeremy Rossi. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Uptown Social. We're at 907 Franklin Street. So yeah, Ed pretty much said everything. So the event is July 28th. It's Thursday. The race starts at 6 p.m. It takes about an hour and a half for everyone, runners and walkers, to get through the finish line. So estimated time of completion at 7:30. After that, we'll have an awards ceremony at the venue at 7:45. But the premise of the Walk Run 5K is to discover the Uptown Arts District, get people in the area to see the beautiful landscape of Washington Park, see all the new buildings that are popping up, new businesses. The race is fun for the whole family. It's all ages. You can bring your dog if you want. It will benefit Michiana Humane Society, so if people want to walk with their no. Okay, that was just an idea I was talking to Michiana Humane Society about, but that would not be okay.
Dogs are not allowed in Washington Park.
In Washington Park. Okay, I did not know that, so we'll take that off. Just pretend I didn't say that. So I'm glad I'm here today. Afterwards, participants can, grab some grub from our neighbor Agave Mansion, cool off at our indoor cool-off station, and adults 21 and over can immerse themselves in our courtyard beer garden. which is on our premises. And then, so the idea is to run, eat, and drink. We got the idea actually from the Dingus Day 5K that used to happen here ways back. So that was how I got the idea to do this. And I was at the Board of Works meeting on Monday, and they approved it. Captain Luneski from the Traffic Control Department is completely on board, and he'll be stationing his EMA volunteers at every intersection so that way our participants are safe when they are running or walking. And we will be collaborating with HealthLink, which is something new that I just spoke with them about. So they will actually be sponsoring the bottles of water for the participants, and they'll also offer a blood pressure wellness check before and after the race at the venue. And that's about it.
Fantastic. Thank you for that additional information.
Of course.
Questions or comments?
I have just one question. It says here the second annual, now, for some reason in my mind, it seems like this was done last year and it went smoothly.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, same route. Everything is the same from last year, except last year it benefited the Aliveness Project, and then this year it's benefiting the Michiana Humane Society.
It sounds like you have all the ducks in a row.
I learned a lot last year. Last year I had to start planning this in December and didn't get all the approvals and everything I needed until around this time in April. So it was a lot more difficult last year because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, it's gonna be easy, you know, it's a 5K. It's no, it's not easy. But it is easier now because now I know what I'm doing, and I have so much support from the city and the BOW and from you guys. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's a great event. It's a great opportunity to get people downtown in the evening to celebrate and have fun. I was able to participate last year and had a great time.
Oh, thank you. No dogs, don't worry.
Does it block off a lot of streets like during that time, or how does that?
It actually doesn't. We have to close 9th because the start line and finish line is next to the Oriental Pearl. But no, so what Captain Luneski and I have come up with is we use the bike lane going down Pine to as the track. And then this year we're going to put no parking signs in the parking spots so that way people have more room. Because we are expecting a bigger turnout this year. And then, they go all the way down Pine, they go over the bridge, they turn right on Lakeshore, and then they go into Washington Park a little bit down the way. And then they run down, I believe it's Fetter, and then they turn right onto Marine Drive, and then they go back down Lakeshore and go back the same way they came.
And then when they're going down Pine, the cross traffic, are those streets blocked?
They are not blocked. There are EMA volunteers at each intersection though, and at 12. 12 will just be like pausing traffic. They don't have to close anything down, they'll just pause it as runners are crossing. But there will be people stationed EMA's volunteers stationed at every intersection on Pine.
So runners will have the right of way if the light is green on 12?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
That's a good
It
question.
was smooth last year.
Yeah, awesome.
Volunteers did a great job.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you. And TH Timing we partnered with TH Timing, keeps track of the time and creates the big blow up start and finish line, and they're really great to work with too. So
It sounds really cool.
Frank Street Bridge, correct?
correct. Yep.
Just one thing, I think the bridge goes up
It does.
on the quarter hour and the 3/4 hour,
Mhm.
just so you're aware, if a boat shows up and the bridge goes up and you go, oh my God, you know? And
Yeah.
Okay.
We were very fortunate last year that did not happen, and that's why I stuck with the same time frames that maybe it won't happen again.
It becomes a
But-
biathlon.
That's right.
What's that?
It'll add
It
time.
become a biathlon at that point.
Nice.
Yeah, you jump over the bridge as it's coming up, and it becomes a whole triathlon.
Any other questions or comments? What's the pleasure of the board?
I so move that we accept the second annual Uptown Social Walk/Run 5K on Thursday, July the 28th, starting at 6 p.m. and ending at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Second.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mr. Freeze,
Here.
Mrs.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm affirmative. Unanimous, good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming in tonight. Any other new business tonight, Ed?
No other new business.
All right, then we have the superintendent's report, please.
Okay. Thank you. This evening, I would like to report on the senior center, youth baseball, golf, park maintenance, zoo, and future proposals. Senior center. I set up a meeting with architect Jerry Fedorchik, Tara Miller, and Pat Volz to inform Mr. Fedorchik about the proposed new floor project throughout the senior center. We will receive specifications and a quote to remove and replace, and as soon as I receive the documentation, I will present to the board for review and approval. The senior center also served, this here is actually a picture of the floor, so I can give you an idea of how bad the senior center is in need of a new floor. You can see that that's of a tripping hazard. I think that's all the pictures of the floor. So also in my report for the senior center, the interactive computer that I've been speaking of, the program that I have mentioned in previous reports, is shown on the screen. In use, it has proven to be everything that has been promised to be. Here you see a senior using this actually for the first time, so I was able to watch someone use it for the first time and how easy it is and how user-friendly it is. It's very simple and informative for record keeping. And you can see that this is a nice program for the seniors to go up and actually let the computer know what activity they'll be taking part in, which is very good for record keeping for the administrative end of the senior center. The senior center also served as the command center for the very successful and well-attended Easter egg event for the general public last Saturday in Fetters. Egg hunters all parked at the senior center parking lot and all walked to Fetters, where kids enjoyed an hour of meeting the Easter Bunny, Elmo, and other characters. Thousands of eggs were distributed in 4 age group lanes. Candy and prizes were handed out along with golden egg winners. And it was a collaborative effort this year. A great work by the police, fire, the events department, the park department, and the zoo and the EMA. So that was a very nice event for the city. Youth baseball, I'm glad to report that the 8U director, Ashley Kohler, and the 10U, 13U, and 16U director, Carrie Krasinski, are up to date with their teams, forming the teams, and scheduling. Both directors conducted evaluation days that were held in a very organized manner. Kids had fun, the parents enjoyed their day at the evaluations, and uniforms are now being ordered. New equipment has arrived. Also at the administrative end, Mr. Williams and Ms. Moore have assisted on a large scale along with their other day-to-day responsibilities. We will be having this coming Sunday, the 24th, a baseball camp for the 10U and 13U. They will be at the high school on the 2 JV fields. If it rains, it'll be indoors. So that baseball camp is this Sunday. The team practices for youth baseball start this Monday on the 25th. Games start in the middle of May, and hopefully each team will have 3 practices before the games. On May 1st at the Senior Center, we're going to have an umpires clinic where our director, Carrie Krasinski, and I will discuss items that the umpires should be aware of, and there'll be a coaches meeting following that where we will discuss with the coaches how important sportsmanship is and them being role models to the kids. Golf. As you can see, the weather has been pretty bad outside, and it also is an indicator and shows how the park department and its activities are weather dependent. I have here a report from our golf course manager, golf clubhouse manager, Mr. Christensen, that the golf course opened, as we knew, on March 16th, 2022. And from March 16th until April 18th, that was 33 days and has only been open 13 days. So it was open 39% of the time since it since it has been open. Now in 2021, it opened March 16th also, and until April 18th, it was open 29 out of 33 days, which it was open 88% of the time. So as you can see, the weather plays a big factor in the revenue and the fun for golfers. So the North Course will be open tomorrow, which was the idea of our green superintendent, John Marshall. If we do have a big rain Friday, the North Course will be open for play. It drains better, and that way there will be some way that some people can get out and play. Now with the windstorms we just had, there was a lot of limb removal that went on during the following days after the windstorm. We even had our mechanic, Mr. Moore, and our assistant green superintendent, Paul McDonnell, out removing limbs at a large scale. Green Leaves Tree Service is the tree service you had just approved to do the tree removal and limb cutting. Are 80% complete. There's only a big stump left from a huge tree that was taken out at the South Course. They also have some tree trimming to do on both sides of the fairways on the North Course, and they will be complete before their deadline. I would like to say thank you, and all the golf people would like to say thank you to D&M Excavating and Ryan Miller for their donation of sand for the sand trap. Apparently, we cannot use beach sand for that sand trap use. I'd like to also thank the Fidelts, as Mr. Freeze mentioned in the last meeting. Some nice work done by the volunteers of the Fidelts trimming trees. There were about 8 to 10 people, and apparently they will be back to do some more. I'd also like to bring to your attention that our green superintendent uses a crabgrass prevention application on a machine, and just so you know, he does it at 10 to 20 acres a day, and with that one application, he'll be applying 80 acres of crabgrass prevention. I thought that was quite a bit. The maintenance shop, the maintenance department. As usual, Patriot Park is experiencing its average spring rainfall and the melting snow and ice from February. And this has caused some soccer cancellations of their practices. We hope to see them play this weekend, but Patriot Park does suffer a little bit when we have the even average rainfall, but we're hoping for a nice day Saturday to dry that up. The park maintenance department and Mr. Volz are making progress on their sanitation problem. They are in the process of cleaning and prepping the mechanical components in the splash pad. Pat's crew is working very diligently to get the splash pad in order, and I can give you more details in the next meeting. We're still being bombarded with sand, and as you know, because of the windstorm I mentioned previously here, bombarded with sand in the parking lots, and some years are worse than others, but this does happen to be a year with quite a bit of sand accumulating in the parking lots. The park maintenance crew also repaired a leak in a 4-inch diameter water service line that serves North Point Pavilion, and that was a success. Future proposals, Humana Corporation will be proposing to you as a park board to bring an RV at the senior center to assist with information to the seniors that they can use for their medical needs and answer questions about Medicare. The YMCA next meeting will probably be proposing the use of Washington Park Beach to offer free yoga and fitness classes to the community. Mr. Joseph from Life's a Beach will probably be proposing the next meeting to rent bicycles, scooters, and kayaks in Washington Park. The zoo is doing very well. There's not a lot to report on right now. The weather's been cold and they haven't had a large attendance, but I do want to report to you that the baby wallaby is doing well with the care that we've decided to give it. And I found out today that the wallaby is a boy. It's doing very well. Mr. Lang saw some pictures I'll try to have next meeting, and the new wallaby's name is Toby. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Any questions or comments?
Any vandalism?
Good question. A window was discovered broken at the bathroom at Gardena.
If there are no other questions or comments, before the meeting, Ed and I had discussed a topic he wanted to address, and we thought we would not bring it up tonight, but I just looked at my calendar and I potentially won't be here next meeting, so why don't we just go ahead and tackle the dog park?
We can. Okay. The mayor has asked to propose a segment of the beach at a certain portion of the day for the owners of dogs to bring to the beach. The mayor couldn't be here tonight, so he asked me to read this, and this is from the mayor. Good evening, Park Board members. I appreciate being on tonight's meeting agenda to present to you details of the dog beach I have committed to provide for the dog-owning residents of Michigan City, which was supported by 70% of those who responded to the opinion survey circulated with our water bills and online in late 2021. I sincerely apologize for not being here tonight to not only provide you with the details of the structure and operation of the dog beach, but to answer any questions you may have. Unfortunately, I am committed, being chairman of the American Rescue Plan Act Committee, to be in attendance of that meeting. I respectfully request that you table discussion of my proposed dog beach until your next regularly scheduled meeting, which I will attend and provide all details of the dog beach and answer all of your questions. Thank you, respectively, Mayor Dwayne Perry.
Thank you, Ed. As I mentioned, I may not be here, so we have all the information in front of us. I think with input from Ed, we can have a discussion and determine if this is what's best for the park and the beach and the citizens.
On number one, it says $20 annual fee.
Well, I would like to add that anything in the, were you seeing that in the packet that I sent you with the
Yeah, it's
survey?
first thing listed
Okay, yep, thank you. Well,
under yeses.
yeah, I don't know why that would be a comment from a person who I don't quite understand why that would
No,
be.
neither.
Anybody does, please
Please
let me
check.
know.
Suggestion
Oh, okay,
on yes.
that makes sense. That was a suggestion.
Any more color comments from Ed or questions or comments from the board?
I would like to say that the rules are preliminary, are not set in stone. And I think that that's one thing that the mayor would point out, that it is up for discussion when it comes to the rules. You will see that in the rules it says from dusk to dawn would be the hours of operation. And I think he's proposing a segment of the morning and a segment in the evening.
Yeah, I read that. How do you guys feel about that? Switching from dawn to dusk and then to just those two little windows. Do you
I
think-
suppose that gives the bathers time to use the beach, is all I can think of.
Mhm. And I forgot, how wide is the area?
It's 400 by 50.
400 feet.
A little more than a football field.
Mhm. I mean, maybe, and I understand that can change, whatever, we all decide on. But I feel like that's a small window as far as if it's going to be a dog beach, that's not really a lot of time for people to bring their dogs there to enjoy it. I mean, because people work different shifts and things like that. And
Mhm.
so some people who have a dog may never get to take them because they may work during the day,
Well, like I said, these items in the rules can be discussed, and they're not written in stone. And also, we can also consider that this could be a trial basis as well, because you do see that it's debatable. There are a lot of yeses and there are a lot of no's,
Sure,
and there are a lot of reasons.
right.
So it could be actually on a trial basis.
Yeah. Mhm.
And changed as it
I
goes.
see some of the rules here, there's a couple must. And if I understand the word must as opposed to shall, that doesn't leave them any choice. Well, if you've ever been out to the beach here early in the morning, there's a lot of people who are operating under the shall rather than must, and the dogs are running free. Go to Struble Pond, And be careful where you walk. Even though they have bags there to use, people evidently don't figure out how to open them. And who's going to check all these? Who's going to check? Are we going to have somebody check the current vaccinations? I mean, who carries their dog's vaccination around with them other than on the tag? And I really have a lot of questions, but I'll stop there and let somebody else have the floor.
What I want to know is if you're not going to be here at that meeting, if you have comments on it, I have comments on it. Do you want to hear my comments tonight, or do we wait until the mayor comes and do this all again?
It's, I may not be here the next meeting. That's why I propose we just tackle it tonight and make a decision tonight, because we have all the information in front of us, unless there's questions that cannot be answered.
All right, well, where I come from, I know that there were 521 yeses for 61%, 328 noes for 39%. And people on both sides had some very good comments. There were a lot of comments like, yay dog, go, I agree. And those, I don't even know if those were counted. But I come from this in looking at our beach as a pristine beach in Indiana and probably the Midwest. We have one of the finest beaches that is around. And dog beaches, I believe, if you go to Indiana Dunes State Park, they allow dogs there. Right now, we do not allow dogs on the beach in Michigan City. We fight like crazy to keep people, and Ed, you and I run into the situation where people will walk in and we realize, as you and I ran into this situation, we really didn't have the authority to tell that person. We could tell them that, but there wasn't any type of a punishment or a fee or anything that was available for them. And our young people that are working the gates, they should not be subjected to anything if they tell an individual, hey, you can't have that dog here. A lot of these are high school kids, they're college kids, but they don't have the authority either. And I come, my take on this is that a beach should be for people. And I'm not anti-dog. My children have 4 dogs, and I take care of them when they're here. But I did some searching, and I put in some of the dangers that beach people that want to walk their dog on a leash or just let it run. These are some of the dangers that a lot of people don't realize. There's 9 of them, and I'm just going to take a minute since right now I've got the podium. There is what's called sand impaction. And it says here, some dogs have been known to eat sand when they visit the beach. Most, however, ingest it by accident through digging or repeatedly picking up sandy balls and toys. If a dog swallows enough sand, it can cause a blockage that is called sand impaction. And signs of this are vomiting, dehydration, abdominal pain, and urgent veterinary treatment. Swimming in the lake. Don't assume a dog can swim. All dogs have to learn to swim like we do. Some breeds are strong swimmers, others are not, such as corgis and pugs. If a dog is not used to swimming, the lake is not the place to start. Dead fish. Don't let dogs eat dead fish that wash up on the beach. It can kill them. Strong and rolling waves. Even if your dog is a strong swimmer, they are still at risk of being swept under by large rolling waves. Foreign objects. There are always temptations on the beach from other people's picnics, discarded rubbish, beach toys. Overexertion. Running on the sand takes a lot more effort than running on grass. Overexertion, particularly in the summer sun, can lead to potentially fatal heat stroke in dogs. Dangerous temperatures. Don't be fooled by cool lake breezes. Dogs should be under an umbrella or a picnic table. They should have a shaded area plenty of fresh water to help avoid heat stroke. The sun can easily heat the sand to dangerous temperatures. It's too hot to walk barefoot. It's too hot for your dog's paws. Dogs, just like humans, can suffer sunburn, and breeds with short hair or white hair, pink ears, must particularly be careful on hot days. And so this is one of the reasons that I think a dog beach is dangerous for a dog. I also think that a dog beach is dangerous for the ecology of our beach. The dog droppings that are there can easily be picked up with a doggy bag. But if you've ever walked a dog, dogs will stop 10, 15 times in a mile walk to mark their territory with their urine. The urine goes into the sand, and you're not going to get that out. I look at that and I go, wow, do we want even a segment of our beach to become a litter box? And that disturbs me immensely. It really does. There are places where people can take their dogs. You can go out to Creek Ridge, but again, watch out where you walk, because a survey done by the Environmental Protection Agency says 40% of dog owners do not clean up after their dogs. Go to Spreebo Pond, you will find the same thing. There are doggy bags there, and a lot of people use them, but a lot of times you have to watch out. 2 times, my wife and I, when we had plastic bags and we were wearing latex gloves, we cleaned up on the pier 2 large piles of dog feces that were out in the middle. And there were little kids playing, and we picked this up with our hands. We had gloves on. Also, we stood and watched a woman on the beach allow her dog to defecate in the sand. And we confronted her and said, "What are you going to do about that?" And she looked at us, and she took her foot and she covered it up with sand and walked away. And we were powerless to do anything. And this is what worries me about having a dog beach. There are other places to walk your dogs. I just think it is an inherent danger from a hygiene standpoint. Dog feces can shed coliform bacteria very easily. They can shed several other bacterial diseases. And once the dog park, if you remove the barricades, little kids are running around in there. That worries me, that they can pick up some types of infections, and dogs can pick up infections from other dogs. So that is my stand on this. And I know that's not going to make the mayor happy, but I am looking out for the health of our beach. I'm looking out for the health of the people that use the beach, and I'm looking out for the health of the dogs that should be using something other than the beach. And now I'm off my book. Thank you.
Well, that comes from a biology professor, so.
I agree with Kent. That was some of my notes I was going to mention, so I'll not be redundant in that sense. On page 17, Mr. Hill wrote a good explanation for no, and it covered everything I was going to say. I do have a couple things that I didn't see anybody mention, and one is the fence. Now, I don't jog anymore, but I used to jog along the beach. And why would I have to come to this area that is 400 feet wide and either run up on the sand dune or run in the water to complete my trip? Are we going to roll up the fence between these times? I think the fence, to me, is a big no-no. And Mr. Lang had brought it up. If you have a pet dog, take him outside in a hot, sunny day and see where that dog goes. He's going to go for the shade. A dog would go to my daughter's pool, and the dog, the first thing he does, go under the table. They don't want to be out there in the sun. They're not worried about their bikini lines. And the sun, as you mentioned, it'd be very detrimental to a dog. Among other things. It's not real good for humans either. But anyhow, those are some points that I didn't necessarily read. I read all 521 of these things this morning. When you don't sleep well, you got to find something to do. So I read these, and the yeses, many of them were, the same thing over and over. And I had dogs all my life. I don't have one now because I'm too old to have another kid to take care of, and that's basically what a dog is.
Yeah.
But as far as the family, it was part of the family. And was I sad when he died? Absolutely, I was sad. But still, it's a dog, and someplace in here talked about dogs' rights. I mean, they have laws to protect them, but I haven't found their constitution yet. So I don't know what kind of rights a dog would have. But I agree. I don't think we should abuse them either. And I think putting them out in the sun is abusing the dog. I have a lot more, but I'll stop there.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Any other comments from the board?
I think you both make really good points. I mean, when I saw that the mayor wanted to change that, timing, I thought, well, that's obviously to keep the dogs, to make more time for the people at the beach. And I'm a huge beach goer, and I don't take my dog that much because it's very messy. But, I think you both bring up really good points. That kind of changes my mind about it too.
One other item would be if we allow dogs a certain time or a certain area of the park, it may exasperate trying to keep dogs out of the park at other times in other areas, as difficult as it already is.
Yeah,
That's another point I didn't bring up.
because it's all or nothing.
Yeah, we have a sign now that says no dogs allowed.
Yeah.
Go down there in the morning or in the evening. I'm telling you, they got dogs out there. So we got to get smarter dogs. They got to be able to read. Something's wrong. That the people don't care, or the rule isn't for me, and my dog is special, and I'm special, and give me my candy bar. Yeah, I think we'll open up a bucket of worms, a bigger bucket of worms.
I actually personally, I don't really have a viewpoint on this, but I really appreciate everybody's comments, because I look at these comments from the people and I think about, well, just because there are more comments from the people that want them, that doesn't mean that these comments from the people that do not speak volumes, because pristine beach, I think, is the key point here. And I think that might do a little bit of things in the reverse of having a pristine beach. So I appreciate your comments, how you thought about this.
Thank you. Thank you, Ed. Any comments from the public tonight? Seeing none. Tabling this? No, I don't see any reason to table it. I know that was your request, but the reason I want to be here when this is discussed, and if we table it and then I can't be here next week or next meeting.
Could we make it contingent on your appearance?
I really don't see a need to table it.
Okay.
From what I've heard so far tonight, we can take the vote, and I might be surprised, but
No, I was just wondering. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to change my opinion.
either am I. So the motion would either be to approve or motion to deny, either way, and then we just vote. So
You need a motion. Is that what
we
you
would
want?
need a motion.
I would move that we take a vote to either approve or deny the idea of a dog park down at Fetter's Alley.
So in that form of a motion, can you state it one way or the other? So we're taking a vote either to approve
Oh,
or
okay.
to deny.
I move that we take a vote to either approve or deny the,
So, excuse me, I was saying, if you make a motion, it can't be one way or the other, just say, well, I'll make a motion to deny the dog park request, or make a motion to approve the dog
Oh,
park.
gotcha.
One or the other.
okay. I make a motion that we deny the request for dog park.
Second. Mr. Freeze,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mrs. Sperling,
Yes.
and I'm a yes too, so the motion passes, and the dog park is denied. All right, we'll move on to the liaison reports. Planning Commission liaison, I'm the rep, and we didn't have a meeting since our last meeting. Port Authority, Mr. Priest?
We did have one Monday, but there wasn't anything for us. They're on board with the Venetian night and some of the other things that Terry had brought up. So we're aware of what they're doing.
Great, thank you. And the Zoological Society, Mr. Line?
Yes, the Zoological Society met on April the 12th, and Superintendent Ed here attended along with me, and Shannon was under the weather. She was not there, but Jamie, the zoo director, was. And Jamie had mentioned that the start, and I think we may already know this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, but the start of the construction is supposed to be on July the 5th. So that's coming up, and hallelujah for that. Jamie also said that they have almost all of their seasonal employees, but they would like to have 3 more, and they're working at getting that. It's just that they run into a lot of people who want a job, but they don't want to work. And that seems to be the theme
Everywhere.
all over our nation
Yes.
right now. She also mentioned the birth of 3 wallabies, 2 marmosets, 2 tamarins, and if I remember right, and Ed, correct me, we lost one of the wallabies, and that's why we're taking care of the baby, and it's doing very well. And Jamie, at the meeting, stressed the fact that it's very important that people realize that there is a lot of ethics involved in raising and having babies at the zoo, and that they have to follow certain processes. And she wanted to make sure that people realize that our zoo is not a baby mill, like there are puppy mills and cat mills and that. But she said they're very, very specific on mating because of that. She also mentioned, yes, right here, they've had to make some changes in the zoo as far as the avian areas because of the flu. And it's gotten to the point where they're taking all of the birds inside, and to get into that, the staff has to wear protective footgear, and they have to walk through a foot bath because it is so contagious. So she said they are fighting that. Hopefully everything will work out. Johnny Stimley, the president, was not there, but Richard Warner, the vice president, was, and he indicated that there is a $10,000 grant coming up for the zoo that will involve them to do a lot of tuck pointing on the WPA structures, which is going to be very, very nice. So that is in the future. Also, they had the society had talked about, and this really has nothing to do so much with the zoo, but that there are going to be some big changes in the traffic flow for the Grand Prix this year. And there are going to be, last year there were 55 boats that were entered. This year it looks like there's going to be 75.
Wow.
And they anticipate some changes in traffic flow because of the additional number of people that are going to be down there. And they're looking at perhaps Ames Field parking, St. Anthony parking, and they want to change it so that the zoo doesn't lose out on revenue when the park fills up for those races. A lot of the spaces that would be for the zoo for parking disappear, and so they lose some revenue there. So they're working on that, and the treasurer, Sean Sheldon, said that the zoo has passed a tax review board for allowing the Barker Foundation to put up another grant, and so they're waiting on that. Sean also indicated that was her last meeting. She's been the treasurer for the society for several years and has done a wonderful job, and they're going to miss her. Also, if anyone is interested, the Michigan City Zoological Society 2022 Running Wild 5K sponsorships are open now. And for $100, you can have your name on the shirt or whatever, or if you want to put your own logo. And Johnny Stimley has indicated that if you're interested, you have to take and submit a $100 donation no later than June the 20th, 2022. And the payments can be made out to the Zoological Society. They can be submitted to the zoo, or they can contact Johnny Stimley at johnnystimley@mail.com. I have one of these forms, but I will do my best to get a hold of several more. If anyone here is interested in sponsoring, that doesn't mean you have to, but we're going to sponsor it. It's just kind of a neat thing to do, and it's a good fundraiser for the zoo. So again, that is going to occur on July the 10th, 2022 at 9 a.m. in the morning. And I believe that is a Sunday morning, as it has been in the past. So that's for a $100 donation for a good cause. End of the report.
All right, thank you very much. Good report. And attorney's report.
No, I have
Ms.
nothing to
Nuremberg.
report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any directors tonight and reports? Thank you. Department of Finances, back to Mr. Lang.
All righty. Michigan City Parks Department claims docket for April the 20th, 2022. Municipal, $62,936.12. Golf, petty cash, $533.10. Zoo endowment, none at this time. Total claims for April the 20th, 2022, $63,469.22. I so move that we recognize the claims docket for April the 20th, 2022.
Second?
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mr. Freeze,
Yes.
Mrs. Spurling,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Payroll number 6. This was one that we didn't have at our last meeting, with a pay date of March the 25th, 2022. A total payroll of $56,418.42. I so move that we recognize and meet payroll number 6.
Second?
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mr. Freeze,
Yes.
Mrs. Spurling,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Payroll number 7 with a pay date of April the 8th, 2022, $65,656.29. I so move that we recognize and meet payroll number 7.
Second?
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mr. Freeze,
Yes.
Mrs. Spurling,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Under gifts and donations, the Prendergast Agency, a donation, Youth Baseball League team sponsorship of $350. I so move that we accept this gift and donation.
Second?
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Mr. Freeze,
Yes.
Mrs. Spurling,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Under minor transfers, none at this time. Zoo endowment, none at this time. Board of Works, none at this time. Credit card charges, none at this time. That ends the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Lang.
You're welcome.
Any comments from the public tonight? Seeing none, any comments from the board?
A couple, I forgot to ask this earlier. Mr. Shannon, have we had any, in the baseball or softball, have we had any requests to play up or down?
Yes, we have. As a matter of fact, we've had 4 requests to play up, none to play down. And at the last evaluation last Sunday, I did speak with the kids to make sure that they, in their eyes, wanted to play up, and they did.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
so it's you feel they are
I
capable?
did.
Okay.
I watched them. They were not out of. There was
Okay. Yeah, out of their league. And my second question, I know this is really probably can't answer it, depending upon weather and materials. With your construction background, do you have any idea when the new cat exhibit might be complete? Have they given you a date on a date they're shooting for?
I was concentrating so much on the beginning date. that-
Well, it's a tough question. Yeah.
And it does depend, I guess the reason I didn't memorize the date, I want to say December, but the reason it was so iffy is because of the material.
Right. Oh, this year that's surprising. Thank you.
Well, I know the Beecher did a nice article on it. And
Yes.
it said a ribbon cutting in 2023, so it just said 2023, but
Okay.
yeah.
It depends a lot on the materials.
Sure.
Yeah, we can't get.
Wasn't there some kind of a day that they were shooting for, like at least 200 days? I for some reason,
Sounds familiar.
200, but again,
They didn't want to commit to that.
there's all kinds of
Can't
theories.
get materials.
Absolutely.
Right.
It says starting construction on July 6th, 5th, but you will see that a lot of it's from July 5th for protecting the animals with some plywood sheeting. Demolition.
And with your background in construction, you know that all kinds of things can go and do go wrong.
Not on this job. That won't be part of this job. There won't be much going wrong.
I mean, there are so many variables.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's.
Yes, absolutely.
Any other comments or questions? If not,
I probably have, but it slipped my mind.
our next meeting is Wednesday, May 4th at 5 PM right here. We have a motion to adjourn.
So move. Is it?